can start. But
Okay.
before anything else, I'd like to reintroduce myself, since I think you were not familiar with us that much yet.
No.
I'm Adrian. I'm the head of the design team. So joining with us are Kevin and Mark. So they are the main designers of Valcucine. And also with us right now is Mylene, one of the sales managers. Then Liza, our account manager. So
Hi, Luca.
yeah.
Hello. Hi.
But there's one more, maybe he can join later. Might be on another meeting. Okay.
Okay.
So I think
we
we're
can
already.
start.
Yep.
Okay. My name is Luca. I am the training manager of Valcucine, and so probably you have participated to the product training, and so today we start with Metron. So I share my screen. So you can see my computer. Okay. So we should see my computer, and this is on your desktop. If you have installed Metron, you have this icon here, TG. So by double clicking, this is the software opened. There are two different software, but with only one icon on the desktop. So when we open Metron, we don't open directly Metron, but we open another software that it is called TGEO. So we have always to pass through TGEO before opening Metron. The TGEO part has not much function. We use basically to create a new project, and to manage the project. At the opening of the software, we are always in the estimate folder, and here, of course, the first time this window is empty, you will see all the estimates that you have created. In Metron, every project, every estimate has to be associated to a customer. You can either decide to create a database with all of your customer, or only one generic customer that is associated to every project. So it is up to you, how do you want to work, but at least one customer is necessary. With the icon here, with the button here at the top of the Windows, customers list, I'm clicking on it. You have access to the windows with the list of customers. I have, for example, only one generic customers that I use for every project. Or with the new button, you can create a new customers. These are the information that you can insert, like the information on the customer, like addresses, for example, a billing address, a delivery address, or information like if there is a park, a lift, or a schedule an appointment for the delivery, this type of information. In the estimates list, each project, each estimate has a reference, a customer, as I said, that one customer has to be associate. And then there is the status. In the estimate folders, the project can have two different status, like this one, that it is inserted, means that the project is finished. We have printed all the documents, like the quotation, drawings. So we are ready, or we have submitted to the final customer for the approval. The status to be inserted means that the project, to be reviewed, means that the project is not yet finished. We have to still work on it. The status, the two different status are given. We will see later how we close the project in Metron. When an estimate becomes a real order, if you want to send directly to Valcucine, you have simply to select the project and then click on the send button, send here, or with the right click of the mouse, we have again here send. An email is sent to Valcucine. Your contact details, I think Sabrina or Sergio, the email address sales3, receive the order, so it can then be processed in our internal system, and you will receive the final order confirmation for the approval. Once an estimate, an order is sent to Valcucine, it disappears from the estimate folder and move to the orders folder. So inside the orders folder, you will find all the orders sent to Valcucine. If you want to delete one of the project, right button of the mouse, delete. The estimate is not definitely deleted, but it will be inside, you will find inside the trash folders, where again, right click with the mouse, delete, and you can definitely delete from the software. There are not much things to say about TGEO. In any case, in the help menu, here, help, there is a manual. So there are some instructions. It is this PDF file. So a user manual with all the information, quotation management, attachment, we will see later about the attachment, customer details, and so on. Okay, so we will find, in case, some information. To create a new estimate, a new project, we have to click on the new button here, new. Appear the windows where we have to select a customer. I have only one, so this is my customer, and then I click on next, this button here. Then in this second windows, if we have filled the information in the customer database, here we can see some, for example, the delivery address, but we can write, in case it's our free fields, we can write the information inside any field. We can change the estimate reference. For example, a modularity. And then if we click on graphic edit, okay, we open Metron. You see, Metron is starting. We'll have to wait a few seconds. Okay, this is Metron. When we open a new project, appear these windows, the windows of the settings or the main characteristic of the project. So the model and for example, the finishes, materials, and so on. This part is under a review, so in the next month there will be an update with the much more easier, much more user-friendly interface for the software. So at the moment we have first to select the model. We have on the right part of the windows the available settings, and we have all the models of Valcucine. This one, the model Artematica, correspond to the old price list. So for any new project, we have not to use this Artematica. It will disappear soon, but we have to use Artematica 2021 that corresponds to the new price list that has been introduced September of 2021. Artematica in vitrum, we choose this model if we want to use the base unit with the glass carcasses that it is called in vitrum. The same for Riciclantica. Riciclantica is the standard one, Riciclantica in vitrum with the base unit in glass. And we have all the other models. So I chose Artematica 2021, so I double click on it, and then I double click on the second line that appears. Now, Metron opens some windows, different windows. Each windows correspond to a characteristic, a feature of the kitchen, and we have to make a choice. The first choice is the front type one. So front type means which type of doors we want to use in the project, and correspond to the first, to the top drawer in case we want to use drawers. The different types of doors have after a combination with the worktop. It is the combination between the type of door and the worktop that gives the final aesthetics of the kitchen. And we have also to consider if the worktop is ordered to Valcucine or is ordered to one of your local supplier. If you remember from the product training, Artematica has mainly a worktop that it is called the linear 6 centimeter worktop. If we use the Valcucine worktop, we have two options for the door. We can use the tall door if we want to open then the doors and drawers with the grip recess, or the volume door if we want to have the push-pull opening. If you are not using the Valcucine worktop, and you are going to use a standard worktop, it doesn't matter the thickness, but with the straight edge, the choices will be the door with grip recess or the symmetric door if we want to use the push-pull or a handle. In our today examples, I want to use a Valcucine worktop, so I chose the tall door. We can double click the choice or one click to select it and then okay, it is the same. Then we have a second windows that it is the front finish. So which is the finish of the kitchen? We have the list of all the finishes available in Artematica. So if you don't find a finish here or a color, this means that the finish or the color is not available for Artematica. to open the section and have the selection, we have simply to click on the arrows or double click on the heading. Okay, and we have then all the different color included, for example, in the matte vitrum, that it is the matte glass. I choose one of the colors, so I double click. Next choice is the frame finish, that it is the frame of the door, that it is in aluminum, but can be natural aluminum or in black aluminum. Then the origin of the worktop. So if the worktop is a Valcucine or is your client's worktop, I choose Valcucine. And then the type of worktop. So if you remember from the product training, there are two worktop available for Artematica. So the linear worktop, that it is 6 centimeter, or the floating worktop, that it is 14 centimeter. I choose the linear top 6. Carcass material can be in plywood or it can be in melamine. Color of the carcass, it can be white or it can be anthracite. The height of the base cabinet. We have 4 heights available in Artematica. Tower unit height. So this is the different height available for the tower unit. The two, we can choose any of this, but the 2 heights that are underlined in yellow are the 2 suggested heights for the height of base unit that we have chosen in order to have the alignment between the unit. So the height of the base unit that I chose 80 centimeter correspond to the bottom door of the tower unit if I choose to 112. It is possible, of course, to choose a different height, but in this case, if I choose one of the not suggested, it might be possible that the alignment, that we don't have the alignment between the fronts, or in order to keep the alignment, the top door of the tower unit might be a not standard size, so a customized door with an extra surcharge. So I keep the standard for today. There are a few more windows. The next choice is relates to the structure of the drawers, so which is the color of the drawer structure. Again, black or aluminum. This one is the bottom of the drawers that can be in melamine or can be in glass. The internal drawer, so which is the finish of the front of the internal drawer. Can be anthracite or in walnut wood. And then the height of the plinth, 6 or 10 centimeter. And the color of the plinth, black or aluminum. This is the last choice. Here we have a summary of all of the choice that we have made. If we want to change something, we have simply to double click and change the color, for example, or make a different choice. If this is okay, we confirm clicking on the OK button. When we are creating a new project, then there is a second window that appears. This is the room setting. We have 2 different options for the room settings. We can use one of these simple rooms that are already inside Metron like this one, so with 4 walls, or this one with just 1 wall, or this with 3, or this one. And we can adjust the dimension of the walls, simply changing the dimension here at the top right of the windows. There is another option that we don't see today, but in one of the next sections, that it is the advanced ambient. With the advanced ambient, you can design from zero a room, also with strange or different shapes, or you can also design more than one a house or an apartment with different rooms together. This, of course, depends on how you are going to use Metron, because if you have, or if you make the renders with a different software, probably it is not, it doesn't worth to spend a lot of time in designing the room, because you design the room with the other software, with other rendering software. So it is simply to design the kitchen in Metron, and then you can export the kitchen, export the project in SketchUp format or AutoCAD format of the 3D model of the kitchen, and then you can import the 3D model in the rendering software. There you can adjust the finishes, you can create the room and work there. If you are going to make the render with Metron, with the additional and optional software called T-Rend, of course, you have to be more precise and accurate in the designing of the room. Anyhow, these are common function. It doesn't matter which type of a room you choose. I choose this one, for example, simple. Today we keep things simple because we have to concentrate on the basic command. I just change the dimension. I can write any dimension. If we want to have corners that are not 90 degrees with edit angles, we can change the degrees of the corner, we can change the height of the wall or the thickness of the wall, and we can also manage the finishes of floor and walls. Because when we create a room, with the Metron designs the floor and the ceiling too. For the floor, we can choose a texture. By clicking on this button, we have a sense of the different finishes available for the floor, and you can also save in these folders your own images in case, or we can manage it for a color. The same for the walls. We can choose a texture, or we can choose a color, simply choosing one of the basic color, or with this is a function that I think is similar to other software. You can pick with RGB a specific colors. Of course, this is up to you if you want to use this type of functions or not. The accuracy of the drawing is independent about the drawing of the kitchen. So I keep these finishes and I confirm with OK. Okay, this is then Metron main windows. The room has been created. It is on the right part of the windows where we have the drawing of the room, and after the drawing of the kitchen when we start placing some items. With this button here placed vertically in the middle of the screen, we manage the view of the drawing. When we pass with the mouse over every command, appear, you see for a while, a description like front view. Now the room is empty, so back view, we don't have much to see. A top view, for example, so we see the floor and a light that it is automatically placed by Metron. We can have the 3D views from left, from right, back left. But there are very useful commands also with the mouse. These commands will be the most used. So with the mouse wheel, we zoom in or zoom out. Okay, zoom in and zoom out. And then with the combination of the keys Control on the keyboard, so I press Control on the keyboard, and by pressing it, then with the mouse wheel, we can rotate the room horizontally, or with Shift and plus the mouse wheel, we have this vertical rotation. And by pressing the mouse wheel, by pressing the mouse wheel, we can translate move the room. Continuing with the icons, this is the align button. So first we have to click the button. This is used to have immediately the front view. So first we click on the button, and then if we click on one of the wall, we have the front view of the wall that we have chosen. This is the total zoom. So the drawing is centered, enlarged and centered in the windows. This is a zoom window. So first we have to click, and then we can trace a part of the screen where we can have the zoom. The hand is a translate view, so the same of the mouse wheel. So we have first to click on the commands, and then with the left button of the mouse, we can move. 3D is a 3D rotation, rotate view. So first we have to click, and then with the mouse again, we can rotate and move. But this can be more difficult. And the last one is the perspective view or the orthographic view. So these are the view of the room. On the left of the windows, we have the catalog. This section is slightly different from model to model. So we are working in Artematica. If we change the model, we can see a different structure of the catalog, because we see only the items of the model. So if we work with the model Genius Loci, we will see that the base unit have the 8 centimeter drawers that we have in Genius Loci. In Artematica, we see the base unit, tower unit, all the items available for Artematica. Then there is one more difference. This is just a temporary situation, because we are in the middle of the process of the review of the price list. This process started last year with the introduction of the new Artematica 2021 price list. And soon, in October, it will be released a new price list of Artematica and Riciclantica, with the novelties that we have shown at the Milan Fair. and so on. And after we will have the special elements, we will have the genius loci revision and so on. So due to this temporary situation, we have now in a situation where our thematica has been revised, but not yet the other models. So when we are working in our thematica, as we are now, appear in the catalog section, this section that it is called our thematica 2021, where inside we have all the items that are included in the Arthematica price list. So we have the base unit, wall unit, and the accessories, tower unit, and so on. Okay. With the other model, this will be a bit different, and the items are distributed in different sections. Anyhow, this is a structure of the catalog is with different level, a sort of tree structure. So we have to open on the arrows or clicking on the headings to see the different levels. For example, the base unit are divided by the depth. And when we arrive at the last level, at the bottom of the page appears what it is included in this section. In this case, the base unit with hinge door. You see the width and the description. The view of the bottom part of the windows can be managed using these three buttons. So we can have a view like this one, that it is a list, or we can have this view, or we can have this other view. Okay. It is also possible with the magnifier lens to search with code or with the description. We can write the codes that we find in the price list, or we can put in the description one or more words. Okay, let's see now how to insert an item inside the project. So basically, most of the items are simply selected from the catalog and then drag and drop inside the room and connected to an existing item. So when we start designing a project, the room is empty. So the only thing that we have are the walls or the floor. So the first item that we place inside the room has to be connected to the floor or to the walls. But when we have some furniture inside, we can connect the furniture to other existing furniture. Let's start. So, for example, I want to start with this unit. So I select it, and then with the left button of the mouse, I press, drag. You see how pay attention please to the mouse cursor. So when I'm outside of the room, the mouse cursor has this sort of forbidden sign. But when I move inside the room, you see how change. Okay, so at the moment I am on the floor. So if I release the mouse button, I position this base unit on the floor in the middle of the room. That it is okay if I am designing an island. If I want to design a kitchen on the wall, I have to move with the mouse cursor over one of the wall where I want to start and see that the mouse cursor has now changed to a sort of a small wall made of bricks. Okay, this means that I'm connecting to the wall. It is not possible when I'm placing an item, insert a specific distance or a specific position where the unit is placed. The unit will be placed where I am with the mouse. So if I release now the mouse button, I am using a base unit that it is 60 centimeter deep. So Metron asked me the distance from the wall. So I can place the unit on wall. So the distance, the value here is 0. This means that the worktop will be also 60 centimeter deep. Or I can choose a worktop that it is depth 65. So the distance, you see how changed the distance from the wall? Or for worktop depth 80 or 60, but with Logic Ateca, or worktop 65, but in combination with Logic Ateca, and change the value. But this is a free field, so I can write any distance from the wall in case. I keep on wall for today, and I confirm. Because I've chosen a sync base unit, I didn't realize that I chose a sync base unit, the Metron asked me if I want to add some additional container that are positioned in the top drawer on the left or on the right side. So I can choose one extra container, 2 trays or no tray. And then the bin type. It can be the aluminum bin without bin or the standard bins in plastic. And then the unit is placed. Okay. Once placed, I can then move in the right position. I can simply drag, okay, or in the section list, I have here position, and then I have the position related to the wall. So I can place here a specific distance from the left wall or from the right wall. We have also top and bottom. Enter. And the unit is placed in the right place. So we have to insert the first unit and then to move in the exact position, and then we can continue because all the other unit that I will add will be in the correct position. What we can see in the list section is that we have the code, the description of the item, and then we have the main code with the components. So the code base unit is made of a carcass base unit that it is also made with end panel, bottom panel, and so on, all the components. And then we have the drawer, top drawer and bottom drawer. We have also the variants that are the choice that we have made at the beginning of the project with the main features of the kitchen, with all the choices, for example, front finish, carcass finish, and so on. And that we can change at any time. Front finish, if we double click, we can choose a different color. Okay? Okay, now I want to delete this item. So to delete an item, right button of the mouse, delete item. Metron asks if we want the confirmation and shows in red what we are deleting. I confirm with yes. Okay, I want to add another unit, this one. Okay, now we give a look to the unit. If you see that it is quite accurate, the graphics, so you can see the small details of the grip recess, for example, and so on. Okay, because at the beginning, so if we click this, the pencil icon, we have access of the settings of the heading of the project with the settings. Here we have chosen that the door is a tall door. Automatically, it is shown on the price list. The lower drawer is a door with grip recess. So this is the tall door. Okay, with the oblique frame and the front panel in line with the frame. And the bottom one is the door with the grip recess. Okay, this is automatic. Of course, we can change if we want to have a different configuration. Okay, we will see later how to change. We have done this two button here, this two arrow, so red arrow and green yellow. Green you see attached to the left. Red is attached to the right. It doesn't appear, but it is attached to the right. So this means the direction to insert a new item. So at the moment, red is right. So if I add another unit, this one, for example, I drag. Now I can connect to the existing base unit because I have now one unit in the room. It is no more necessary to connect to the wall. We have to connect to the existing base unit. And I am attaching it to the right because the direction chosen is right. And also these two red circles means direction right. So if now I release the mouse button, the unit is placed on the right. If I want to add a unit on the left, I can change, of course, the direction, but I can change the direction also while I'm inserting. So I drag, I connect to this unit. The direction at the moment is right, but if I press on the keyboard the left arrow key, you see how it is changed. Now it's green. Also here it is changed. So if I release the mouse button, the unit it is placed on the left. I go back in list. Okay. Here, the last unit that has been inserted is selected. I recognize also because of the label and the arrow that indicates which is the unit selected with the description. If I click one click of the mouse on another unit, you see how change here? So because I have selected another unit. So with one click of the mouse, we can select the base unit, the items. with the double click on one of the components, we select directly the component. So with the double click on the top drawer, you see that for a while it becomes red. You see that which it is now selected, the drawer. Double click on the bottom one, I selecting the component. But the components work also on every component. So double click on the side panel, base unit end panel, or here, rear cross structure, here, rear strip, and so on. So one click to select the main code, it is called also the father code. Double click on one of the components to select the components or one of the sons code. Pay attention always here in the list which item you have selected, okay? Because if we make changes on the variant, we have to pay attention if we are changing one component or if we are changing the main code. Basically, we work on the main code. This view, we see only one unit. But if we click on this button here, this icon, we can see all the items that are at the moment included in the project and that will be included also in the quotation. So we see that there are 3 base units. This one has been the 90 centimeter unit, has been the first unit that we have placed inside, and it is marked with this white flag. The other 2, the unit that we have placed after, are marked with 2 rings of a chain. This means that the unit are connected, are joined all together. When we place something in a project and we connect to something, this Metron creates a connection between the items. So for example, if we move all the unit together. If in position, we set a distance from the wall, we set the distance from the base unit that it is in the middle. You see, all are moved together. I select this unit. Within the variant, we have the front type 1, and we have type of lower front. If we want to change, for example, I want at the bottom to have the door with the push-pull. Double click. We have the symmetric door. I choose this one. Automatically, Metron has placed the push-pull, and you see how the door is now the symmetric one, as shown in the price list. Now, if I add a new unit on the left of this one, the unit is exactly like this one. But if I place something on the right of this unit, so left arrow keys on the keyboard to change the direction, it is in this way. So Metron recognizes the type of unit and next to it and places it accordingly. As I said, all this one are joined together. So if I want to move only one item, I have a first, so I select this item, I go in list, and in position, and you see that everything is in gray. I cannot do any changes because, as I said, the units are joined together. So to be able to move just one unit, I have first to delete the joint between the furniture. Okay. And then here I can move. I can set, as before, a distance from the wall, or I can use also the relative shift. The relative shift, we move, we have to write here the distance or the dimension of the measurement of the distance that we want to move. So for example, if I want to move this unit on the right 60 centimeter, I have to write here 600, because in Metron we use millimeters, and then enter, and the unit is moved. Okay, with the, this is the undo button. So I click in there, I go back to the first unit. To the fact that the units are connected, are joined together, if, for example, one click to select this unit, and then right button of the mouse, delete item, yes, the unit are moved. Okay, so if I place another unit, here, and another unit here. Okay, so if I want to replace or change one of the unit, for example, this one, so one click to select this unit, I want to change to a bigger unit, I have first to activate the replacement function, clicking on this button, enable the selection of replacement articles. Okay, and now I choose the unit that I want to replace, double click, becomes in yellow with the red yellow dot that indicates where I'm replacing it. And I have replaced the unit. Okay, so remember the connection. If you want to move, delete, or insert something, we have to break the connection first, or if we want to replace something, we have to use the replacement function. With the selecting a unit and the right button of the mouse, delete, we delete only one single item. Okay, but it is possible also to delete in one shot more items. We have to make a selection, a multiple selection. To make a multiple selection, we have two different ways. The first one, with Control on the keyboard, so we press Control, and then with the mouse we click on the items that we want to delete. For example, this one and this one. Okay, so the blue are the ones that are selected. If we click again, we deselect the selection. With Escape, we stop the selection. So again, Control on the keyboard, and then with the mouse we click the unit that we want to select. Metron opens this section that it is called multiple selection. We have many things, we can do many different things here. What we see now is delete group. We can move, we can hide from the view, we can change a common variant, delete group. Metron shows me the unit that I am deleting, so only the two that are in red. If I confirm with yes, the two items are deleted. The second way to make a multiple selection is again control on the keyboard, but this time instead of clicking on the mouse, we trace a window and everything it is inside the windows is selected and we can delete the group. Okay. Now, if there are questions, you feel free to switch on the microphone and ask if there is something that it is not clear or any doubts. We continue now and we start to design a very simple kitchen so we can see other things. We design now a kitchen that has an L shape. So there is a corner unit also. Typically, when we have an L-shaped kitchen, we start placing the corner unit, because once the corner base unit is placed in the right position, then automatically all the other units that are attached are in the right position. So I choose one of the corner base unit, for example, this one. And then I keep it and drag inside the room. You see that appears at the four corners, these four red triangles. Metron recognizes that I am placing a corner base unit. So show me the points, the place where typically a corner base unit is placed, the corners. But of course, I can place also on the floor in the middle of the room, or I can place to the wall, not in a corner position. But typically the corner is the right position. So when I move with the cursor, with the mouse over the triangle, you see how change the mouse cursor when I see the cross means that I am picking the right point, exactly the corner. Here in this position, I am connecting to the floor. In this position, I'm connecting to the wall. Here, exactly at the corner. So I can release the mouse button. There are some, this choice, if the base unit is left or right, I choose left. And then again, because I am placing something to the wall, the distance from the wall. A corner base unit, with a corner base unit, two walls are involved, the left one and the right one. So I have to make this choice 2 times. This one is for the left wall, and after I have to choose the distance from the right wall. We can choose 2 different distances. It is not important that the choice is the same, because, for example, we can have On one side of the kitchen, a worktop that it is 60 centimeter, and on the other side, a worktop that it is 65, or 65 one side and 80 the other side. So I choose on wall on both. We keep simple things today. And here is it, the unit has been placed. Okay. I forget to tell something before, so I place another unit here. Okay. How we can change the dimension of the unit if we don't, so if we need to change it to have a special side unit, not a standard one. So in list, within the variants, we have the dimension, for example, width. Okay, if we double click and we change in a dimension that it is not standard, we have simply to change the value, confirm with OK, and Metron automatically adjust the unit and apply also the cost of the surcharge for the modification of the unit. Okay, all the items are modified in this way, simply changing the dimension. There is only one exception, the corner-based unit. Modifications on corner-based unit are managed with the variant that it is this one, change dimension, double click, appear this windows, sorry, I want to make in a better position so it is easier for you to see. Okay, change dimension. So with this windows, we make modifications on the corner-based unit. We can change the frame width that it is the carcass, or frame depth that it is the carcass. We can change the corners, so the corners for the corner post, the door, so any of this dimension can be changed. If we design a room with a corner that it is not 90 degrees, more or less, doesn't matter, but not 90 degrees, when we place a corner-based unit, the corner-based unit is changed accordingly to the wall, and after also the worktop, when we insert the worktop. But if we haven't, if we have not designed the room correctly, we can change also from here. Two typical modification to the corner unit is the modification of the dimension of the corner filler. The standard one is 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter. But in case we need to reach a specific dimension, if the kitchen, typically when the kitchen is from wall to wall, it might be necessary to increase or decrease this dimension. For example, if we want to change and increase the corner post to the right, to the left part, we have to change this dimension, rear depth. So from here to here. For example, we want to make it 10 centimeter. So 700, okay, or enter. and see how the corner posts have been increased. So with change dimension, we can change the corner base unit. So all the other items, we change directly the dimension. For the corner base unit, we have to use this change dimension variant. We can now add from the catalog some other unit. For example, I add this one, so I drag inside, I connect to the corner base unit, the direction is green, so left, that it is okay, I release the mouse button. Of course, I'm working here at the moment in the 3D views because I have to show you many different things because it is a training. But of course, when you can decide to work, if you prefer, with the top view, it works exactly in the same way. We drag, connect to the unit, you see the direction left or right, and release the mouse button. Okay, so this, of course, it is up to you, or I can work in a front view. So I click align, I click on the wall, and I have the front view. So this is up to you which way I show you the different possibilities, and when you work, you choose what you think is the best for you. Okay, I want to add some other units on the right. On the right of the corner base unit, I want to add a dishwasher. So there is this section, doors for appliances, and dishwasher door. Because I have the layout of the two drawers, I want to have the same layout also on the dishwasher door. So I can choose, for example, this one, where there are the effect is two fronts joined together. So I drag, as we have seen before. I connect to the corner base unit. This time I have to change the direction to right. So I press on the keyboard the right arrow keys. So the direction changed to red. I release the mouse button. And we see one thing that when an appliance is involved, like here a dishwasher, but it can be a refrigerator or an oven, we will see all the appliances during the trainings. When there is an appliance involved, appear these windows. This windows is basically to choose the appliance. So we have appliance type, dishwasher. In this case, there is only one option. And then the appliance is supplied by Valcucine. So means that the dishwasher is ordered to Valcucine. That of course, this is not your choice, your option. This is only for the Italian customers that buy from Valcucine, the appliances. So you have to go with the different options supplied by client, so by you. We have this one, codified appliance. Please choose brand and model. So if we choose this second option, then appear a windows with some model of dishwashers, and you can choose one of the dishwasher. But these are the models available in the Italian market. So the brand could be different or the code different from what you can find in the Philippines. So Typically, the typical choice for foreigner customers is the third one. So the appliance is supplied by client. It is not codified appliance. Please send installation drawing. This is also the quickest because we confirm with OK and the door is placed. Of course, you have to send it as written there. If when you send an order to Valcucine through Tigeo, through Metron, you have to attach the specification of the appliances so we can check dimension, if it can fit or not. After the dishwasher, I want to place a sink base unit. So I connect to the dishwasher, direction right is okay. As before, in a sink unit, I want to add 2 additional containers in stainless steel, a bin type that it is the aluminum one. And then I just want to finish with another base unit with 2 pull-out fronts, 60 centimeters on the right. Okay. In Metron, there is not the automatic savings. So you have to remember sometimes to click on the save, this one, button, okay? Now, assuming that we have finished with the base unit, once placed the base unit, the next step is to place the worktop. And after the worktop, we place the end panels. Please remember this order: base unit, worktop, end panels. If we respect this order, it is easier for Metron make some automatic calculations. Of course, it is possible to place after the base unit the end panels and after the worktop, so to change the order. But without the worktop, Metron is not able to make some automatic calculations. So ask just only more questions in order to understand how the kitchen is made. So the suggestion is after the base unit, we place the worktop. So we have here the section worktops. We have simply to, we have here, you see different items. So worktop linear 6, worktop 14, and the sideboard worktop. And then we have this one, worktop as in main arrangement. This means that the main arrangement is this one. I click on the pencil icon because at the beginning we have chosen a worktop, the worktop linear 6. So if we want to use this worktop, we can use worktop as in main arrangement. It is the same if we use worktop linear 6 from here, right? It doesn't change things. Worktops, for the worktops, Metron makes some automatic calculation. So if we drag inside, it doesn't matter where we connect. It works in any place. Or we can also double click on the items. Because appears a further windows, this one, action choice. Select the type of action to perform. 99% of the case, we use the first one, selection. We read, please select structures where new item is to be applied. So I click on selection, and then we have to select the base unit, and starting from the selection of base unit, Metron calculates the length of the worktop and places the worktop. In this L-shaped kitchen, two different pieces of worktop are necessary, one on the left and one on the right. So we have to make this action, to perform this action 2 times. So first we insert the left part of the worktop and after the right part. The selection has to be made always from left to right. If we choose from right to left, it doesn't work. So from left to right. And it is a selection type from to. So from the first base unit to the last base unit. So from this base unit, that it is the first one on the left, to the last one, that in this case is the corner base unit. Up here, these windows will be soon changed because the first choice is not correct. Only these 2 choices are possible. What means this choice? I hope that you can see. Let me place here. So if we choose this one, means the junction, the connection of the 2 worktops. It doesn't matter. Here you see that it is a round joint, but it is not always surrounded. This depends on the material, but you have not to care about this one. Accordingly to the material of the worktop, Metron automatically will make the straight connection or the rounded connection. So you have not to care about this. You have just to choose. If we choose this one, means that the worktop stop here, where there is the corner unit. If we choose this one, the worktop arrive until the wall. This is the difference. So if I want to stop the worktop here, I choose this one. Then worktop depth next to the right. So which is the depth of the worktop on the right? 60 centimeter. Yes, Metron has already made the choice for us. So it is not in mostly in the standard situation, we have simply to confirm the choice. It might be possible that in some strange layout or with the depth of worktop that it is not standard, Metron is not able to recognize, so we have to manually change the choice. But for most of the case, the choice shown by Metron is the right one. We have simply to confirm. Then we have to choose the worktop finish, so which is the material. And the frame, the color of the frame. The first part of the worktop is placed. We have not to care about the structure. When we place the second top, Metron will adjust everything. At the moment, he doesn't know, he cannot understand what we are going to do after. So the first part is placed. We can place now the second part. In the same way, selection from left to right. So the first unit is the corner base unit. The last one is this one, the last unit. Worktop finish, again, we might use 2 different finishes, frame black. Okay, so now the worktop is placed. Metron, in this case, for the glass, there is the straight joint. After the worktop, we can place the end panels. End panels, this is the section. We have one generic code, end panels. Make the zoom so you can better see. We have to drag and connect to the base unit where we want to add the end panels. We have to pay attention to the direction. The direction is right and it is okay. But if the direction was left, Metron would have placed the end panel on the left side. That of course it is wrong. So in the future, this will be changed, but at the moment, pay attention to the direction left or right. Red means right, so we can release the mouse button and choose the finish for the panels. Suspended or to the floor? To the floor. Okay, let's see this thing. Of course, the worktop has to extend over the side panel. Sometimes in Metron, the result that we see on the screen is not what we expect. But this doesn't mean that there is a mistake. It might be possible that there is just a matter of we have to make a refresh of the screen. It is just a graphic issue. To make the refresh of the screen, we have to use this button here that it is called, you see, regenerate. And if we click, in fact, we see that now, after the refresh of the screen, the worktop has extended over the end panel. Okay. And if we go in list, we can see that a generic code has been transformed in a code FFBC07 that corresponds to the right dimension. In Metron, when appear a windows with a choice, means that every choice is a variant that we can find here. For example, in the end panel, we have chosen one choice was suspended or to the floor. We've chosen to the floor. So any variant, all the variants can be changed at any time. If we double click this choice, we go back to the original choice. And if we change to suspended, automatically it is placed suspended. So remember that when we make a choice, we can change at any time because we find it inside the variant. And it is automatic, the change. We don't have to delete the item and insert again. On this side, on this unit, we have to change the direction because the end panel is required on the left side. So I press on the keyboard the left arrow keys. Okay, again, it is necessary to make refresh. And the worktop has been extended. We save also the project. Okay, so we have finished with the base unit. But we see one thing. We have everywhere the layout of two panels. And what about if we want to have the same aesthetics result also on the corner base unit? It is possible in this way. So first thing, we have to select the items that we want to change. So we have to select the door. So double click on the door of the corner base unit to select just the door. And then if we look at the variant, we have this one that it is called type of single panel door. The value is wall. Wall is not probably the right translation. It's more correct one piece. But if we double click, we have one piece or two pieces, or by paneled to jumbo drawers. So we have the choice. So we select this one. And the door now is in two pieces. Okay. If we look, there is a function that we have not yet seen, that it is this one, front opening. If we click here, and then we drag the cursor, you see, we see how the doors or drawers opens. We can check any interferences if we have placed the right unit, for example. Or in one single item, so we select with one click this base unit, right button of the mouse, front opening, we open only the unit that it is selected. So in the corner base unit, we see that the door is one single door, but the effect is two panels joined together. We can have the same thing also on the corner filler. So double click to select the right part. We have the same variant, double click. The same on this panel. Okay, now we have the same look for on all the kitchens. Plinth. Plinth. Double click. Selection. This time the selection works exactly as for the worktop. So we have to make the selection from left to right. This time we can place only in one shot. So this is the first base unit on the left and the last one on the right, this one. Front plinth, left and right, because we need also the plinth on the sides. We can have two options for the lateral plinth. We can have the plinth in line with the side panel, or we can have the receding plinth, the rentrant plinth. If we want the receding plinth, we have to choose this one and this one. Okay, and then I confirm, okay. And Metron calculates and automatically places the plinth. If we give a look, we see how The plinth is the receding from the side panel. We have the sides. So everything that it is required has been inserted. Okay, just let me save. Okay. All the units are without internal drawers in Valcucine. So the internal drawer, it is an option. And if it is required, you have to add after to the unit. So inside the catalog, floor standing base unit, accessories for base unit, internal drawers. We have 12, 18, and what is the difference here? I don't know, just let me write down. I have to, if I find something that is not okay, I have to advise the Metron office that because there is the same description, I think that there is a wrong number. Anyhow, we will check. But typically in the base unit, it is used the 12 centimeter high internal drawer. Okay, how to insert it? So we select it, we drag inside, and we position over the unit where we want to place. Metron shows the two options, so inside the top drawer or inside the bottom drawer. We have simply to click with the mouse, one click, and the drawer has been placed. If we move on the other unit, we can insert another one. On the corner base unit, nothing happens because it is not possible to insert an internal drawer. Also on the dishwasher, also on the sink unit. In the last one, you see, we have the options. Escape when we have finished, or the escape keys on the keyboard, or the right button of the mouse, and we have finished. Now, if we give a look, let's see, from here probably, and we open the drawer, we see that there are the internal drawer inside. If we want to give a look to the inside of a furniture, we have another command that allows us to hide the door, the front. It is a command made on the keyboard, Control plus the number 2. So Control 2 on the keyboard. We hide the door and we see the internal of the unit. Okay. Accessories for drawers. So if we want to place accessories like cutlery trays and so on, we have again another generic code, walnut drawer accessories. We have simply to drag it and we position over one of the drawers where we want to place it. For example, this one, the bottom one. When we release the mouse button, Metron shows the accessories that we can place there. For example, I want to place this one. Okay. If we want to place a cutlery tray inside the internal drawer, we have to work with the fronts hidden because we have to drag the accessories over the internal drawer, and then we can choose the accessories. At the moment, the internal accessories are not graphic. So we don't see, you see that we don't see the, we can see in this way. We don't see that there is nothing inside. But if we go in the list, we see that we have the interior drawer that was not before, and the interior drawer associated a cutlery tray, but also the bottom drawer, this one, have inside a system with 4 dividers. So even if not shown in the drawing, the accessories are included in the estimates, are included in the list. Okay, now I save and we see the sink hobs. We start with the sink that it is here, but the hob works exactly in the same way. We have this section that it is called appliances. Okay. Now we can start with the hob, and it doesn't change. Hob. Here about the hob, but for the sink, it is the same thing. We have to think if we are ordering this to Valcucine or not, or if we want to have in a graphics or not. To insert a hob, we have to drag it and connect it to the base unit where we want to place it. So not to the worktop, but to the base unit. We can add to the worktop, but if we add to the worktop, then Metron asks us the position, so the distance from the left side. So we have to make the calculation. If we connect to the worktop, automatically Metron places the hob and center it on the base unit. So my suggestion is to connect always to the base unit. When I release the mouse button, I have the same choice that I've seen before. So considering that the first choice is not an option for you, we see what happened with the second choice or with the third choice. We start with the third choice, okay? We don't, with the third choice, we don't give to Metron any information about the hob. So when we confirm, Metron places just a small cut because Metron has not any information. So it is not able to understand what we are going to place, but we can manually change the dimension of this cutout. If we go in list, this one is the cutout. Let me just write down that it is in Italian, it's not in English. There are, it is possible that you find something that it is not translated in English, like in this case. We are constantly updating Metron. So you will see that there are a lot of updates, and each update can have a new things, or just, for example, a translation for these items, or so when there is an update available, the first time that you open Metron after the release of the update, appear a windows that ask if you want to update the software or not. My suggestion is to answer always yes, in order to have always the software update, because an update can correct a mistake, a bug, or a new things that it is added. So keep the software updated, because this is the best way. So this, the dimension are here 10 by 10. So we can change the width, for example, 750, the depth can be 490. So we have also the visual of the cutout, okay? I delete this. One more thing. The cutout has a cost. There is a surcharge for a cutout that it is, I make a refresh, that the surcharge are listed in the price list. But Metron, because we haven't given any information, is not able to understand that there is a cutout. So it is not able to apply a cost, because is it a cutout for a flash mounted installation or for an over mounted installation? How can understand this information, this option, if we have not given to Metron the information, the necessary information? So we have to act manually and apply manually this surcharge. So with one click, we can select the worktop, one click on the worktop. You see worktop selected. And we can, in the arrangements, double click, choose one of the surcharge that are placed here. For example, we can add the cutout for countertop hob or flush hob or sink cutout. We have simply to select here, pick, okay. And the cost for this cutout is added automatically to the work. Now I go back to the previous situation, because now I delete this cutout, okay. And we see the second option, client, but this time I confirm, appear another windows where we can choose a worktop. It is just for the graphics, so we don't add anything to the project, to the estimate. But at least we can give Metron some information. This Windows is under a revision, so soon there will be a different graphics, more easy for you to understand. At the moment, we know that it might be a bit complicated. Of course, the list of appliances that you find here is the list of the appliances some brands that Valcucine work with these companies. So each of this, it is a sort of Excel file. So each column, for example, this is the column for the brand. of course, we can scroll down, but it might be difficult to find the right one. So if we click here at the top of each, where there is the heading of the column, we can make a filter and select one of the brand. For example, I choose Miele. Okay, we are placing also the images, so we can find here we see the product code. We can also type here and we can select it filters the worktop. For example, I choose this one just to show you. Double click. The worktop, the hub is placed. Of course, it is not added to the estimate, just for the graphics, and I make a refresh, regenerate. If now with one click I select the worktop and I go in list, sorry, why it doesn't appear? Sorry, I want to change. 1 second. I do it again because I found a bug. No, I'm not sure if it is a bug or. I changed the model because I just want to check if it is a problem related to that specific code or to any code. No. Just 1 second. I have to take a note because there is something that is not working properly. Okay, just let me, for the moment, we stop with this function, and because also we have finished our time. So this is the two different way to insert the appliance. Of course, if you want to have at least something for the graphic, it is better to do this second option with the choice of the model. If you don't care about the graphic because you have another, you then export the file to a different software and you make the render from there. You can choose also the third option. In any case, this doesn't has any effect on the estimate that it is correct because the appliances are not included. We have to stop here for the moment because we have just a few minutes and there is a couple of things that I want to show you. So when we have, our project is not finished. So next week we will continue working on it. So when we have to stop, we have to close the project. To close the project, if we close with the X like any other software, you see that appears this error message, impossible to end program with an active order. Okay, so we have to close the project in a different way using this icon here, this one, this command, project end of order. Choose one of the following options. So we have 3 options. Number 1, save and print. So the status in Tijao will become inserted. We make this choice when we have finished the project and we want also to print the quotation and all the drawings. This takes more time to do, so we are not doing this today. Our project is not finished, so we save and hold. So the status in Tijao will be to be reviewed. third choice, delete the changes. So we will lose all our work. So I click on the choice number 2, save and hold, and then I confirm with OK. We wait a few seconds, Metron closes the project. Okay, and now we are back to TGeo. This is our project. The status, in fact, is to be reviewed. We see here a preview. If we click on attachments, okay, we see that we have one composition view, that it is the 3D image of the kitchen, and we have 3D model. 3D model, we have the same commands that we have in Metron, so with the same function. So, for example, with Shift and the mouse wheel, you see that we rotate, or Control and the mouse wheel. Okay, we can zoom. For example, if we want to check just a small detail of the kitchen, but we see we have a top view. We have exactly like in Metron, we can have a look of the pictures. Okay, so for today, we have finished. Our time is run out. And next week, we will start from the project. We will see how modify a project, and we will continue with the other things. If there are questions, of course, I'm here.
Okay. Any questions, guys?
No question for me.
Okay. So thank you for your attention. I hope that my explanation was clear. I understand that the beginning as all new software can be difficult, but with the practice, you will see that it's not difficult at all. We have many customers that are using it. And with a bit of practice, you will be able to prepare a quotation in a very short time. And so see you next week. Thank you, and goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Luca. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Ciao. Bye-bye.